What's up, guys? This is Thag with Thag's Dino Reviews in Paleopolitics. And I thought that we were going to be finished for the year with dinosaur skeletons at auction. But lo and behold, up jumped the devil. And this week it was announced that two, not one, but two T-Rexes are going up for auction. One will be with Sotheby's and one will be with Christie's, large auction houses, and the prices, quite frankly, that they're quoting are beyond belief. So I was going to give you a review of the mystery dinosaur that was sold back in 2019, but I'm going to have to put that to the next post because I want to get this out, and it's important. Okay, so the first skeleton is actually not a skeleton, not a complete skeleton, it's just the skull. And that is a skull of Maximus, and it's a T-Rex adult. And it was found in, I believe, in that part of the Hell Creek Formation in South Dakota where they find a lot of T-Rex material. Now, it is only the skull, and I have seen it, and it's weathered, but it's still pretty darn nice. And it's been mounted, and it's really ready to go. But as usual with these kinds of things, there are some controversies, and I certainly have some questions. The first one is the fact that the paleontologists that found it and the owner have not given out their names yet. As a matter of fact, they probably won't give out their names. And this is always a red flag. That bothers me terribly. And let me tell you why. In paleontology, you are what you find. That's it. Guys and gals have spent their entire careers studying a single animal and writing papers on it and doing the research and all that for years. Literally for years. And never got into, well, maybe some small amount of work, but spent their entire careers on the animal. Now, it would seem to me that with the limited number of specimens, they would want to give out their names and the locale and all that. Now, the one thing they did say is that it was on private land. And the other thing they said was there were no composite pieces in it. It was all bone, and it was really a unique specimen. Another thing they said that bothers me a little bit, because here we go again, the auction supervisor, the gal that does the press releases for the auction company, said that this was ideal because it was just the right size to be able to fit in somebody's living room, where a full skeleton would not. Now, call me crazy, but these were the same people that are saying that they also think this thing will get to some point where it will be donated to a museum or at least put on loan so that scientists can go ahead and study the skeleton, write their papers, study the skull, do whatever they have to do and really research it. Well, I don't buy that for 1 minute. Okay, if they're touting that this will fit in your living room, and you know, most mega rich people, and that's what it takes to buy this stuff anymore, most mega wealthy people are going to go ahead and put this right in their living room. That is the intention. Another thing that also bothers me is you got to remember this is the skull only. It's nice, it's an adult, it's mounted, no question. But they're estimating it will go for a price of between $15 and $20 million. Wow. And my prediction is it will probably exceed that because they're going to hype this thing to the moon. And it just bothers me quite a bit. Now it is mounted, and it is, they say, somewhere between 6 and 7.5 feet long. Wow, that's funny. With it mounted, you'd think that they would be able to zero in on the actual length of the skull a little bit closer than that. But nonetheless, that's what it is, and that's where it's going. So look for much hype to come down the line regarding the T-Rex skull, and the name of it is Maximus. And I think Maximus is going to sell for a tremendous amount of money. Okay, now the second Tyrannosaur is a complete Tyrannosaur, and it is also adult, and it is mounted in a crouching pose, like it's about to strike, or it's locked on to some prey animal and it's getting ready to go into action. Quite frankly, I think that that is a very nice pose. I looked at the pictures. I did not travel to Hong Kong, and that's where it's being sold at, Christie's Hong Kong. And it also is a really nice piece. Now, it's only 54% complete, and there are composite pieces that have been made to go ahead and make the skull one complete animal. And like I say, it really, really looks nice. Now, if Stan is any indication, this T-Rex, which is named Shen, Shen will sell for easily. They're asking somewhere between $15 and $25 million. That's what they're projecting that it'll go for. I'll tell you right now that it's going to go for every bit of that and probably more. And again, they've had a lot of hype, a lot of people looking at it. It's in a very central location in Hong Kong, and I fear that it's going to head out. Now, I don't know anything about the history of this or where it's going. I'm not completely sure where it came from, and I don't know anything about who found it or any of that. If it winds up in an accredited museum, great. That's the way to do it. If it does not, you will probably never see this animal again. And that's my take on it. You know, these skeletons, once they are auctioned off, and we hear all this mantra and hoopla and hype about how the mega wealthy are more concerned. They have this collectors community that keeps in touch with everybody, and they're all working towards putting these skeletons in positions where they can be viewed and the public will be able to enjoy them as much as they do, and they've all got our backs. I don't believe that either. Okay, these are mega wealthy people that can afford this stuff. They don't even know I exist or you exist, period. What they're going to do is for their own pleasure, whatever they pay, and they can pay plenty, and they will pay plenty. Now, I did, just a little while ago, I got an update on Shen, and apparently there's some intellectual property disputes regarding the pieces that were made up to complete Shen, since he was only 54% complete. And as of my understanding, now, today's the 28th, Shen will be removed from the auction block. He's not going to be auctioned off. The Black Hills Institute, who owns the copyright fossil rights of Stan, have voiced concerns that people don't really know what they're getting and that sort of thing. So Christie's did do the right thing and pull it off the block. But let me tell you something. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, nobody else, I believe that Shen will be sold behind the scenes regardless. He may not go up for auction. They may put a price on it, and we may never know anything about it. There was another report about the Asian guy that wanted to buy it. He was apparently an extremely wealthy businessman, and all I know is he's Asian and he lives somewhere over in the Far East, and it's quoted that he has an estate in which the living room alone is so big you could put a whole natural history museum in it. So if that's the case, believe me, Shen will fit right in. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it's kind of my gut feeling that they're not going to let this get away, that Shen will be sold one way or the other, whether it's by auction or in the background. Anyway, okay, so that's the update on those two. Now, on the next post, I am going to talk about the mystery dinosaur. It too has quite a bit of controversy around it, and that's getting to be the norm. As I said in the last post, ever since 2018, we've had a number of skeletons come up for sale, and they always seem to have some sort of controversy around them. And eventually that's ballyhooed into this big sales pitch, and eventually results in huge auction bids. Unbelievable. If it continues on the way it's going, there will be no museums in the world that will be able to compete on this price level. And it's sad, because I really don't care what anybody tells you about there's a large number of Tyrannosaur specimens. No, there's not. I read an article recently that estimated that in the lifetime that T-Rexes were alive, the whole span of that portion of the Mesozoic, they estimated that better than 2 billion T-Rexes were hatched, lived their lives, and died during that portion of the Mesozoic. Now, if that's true, and we have somewhere around 50 or 55 specimens, that's not very much. And we need every specimen we can get to continue to develop the evolutionary history of these animals. And there's just a ton of information, I think, that can be garnered from every skeleton. It's just in the hands of a good paleontologist that knows what they're doing, and I don't. They can glean out a tremendous amount of knowledge, and I can prove this. Just go back and look at what we thought dinosaurs looked 175 years ago, what we thought they looked like. And through the scientific process in the last 175 years, we have brought it to the level now, which is incredible. It's incredible. Hardworking men and women have gone out there, studied these animals, and come up with these hypotheses and theories, and eventually a lot of it just science fact, because they doggedly pursued it. But it all starts with discoveries, and that's where we are losing it. Anyway, next post will be on the mystery dinosaur again, and I am this time going to review a dinosaur model that I found that's very interesting to me, because I think it's also the start of a trend. I hope it is, and because for a guy like me that collects dinosaur models and really likes the scientifically accurate one, I think this is going to be a really great model. And then I will continue with the talk about the mystery dinosaur, which also has a huge amount of controversy around it. Now, it's been, basically 4 years since it sold, and I am also going to get some information for the next post, and I'm going to tell you exactly how many of the 7 or 8 dinosaurs that have been sold since 2018. And that's the major dinosaurs, the large Jurassic and Cretaceous giants from Western North America. How many of those have actually been gifted to a museum or put in a repository where they can be studied? And I think you're going to be shocked at how few it is. Anyway, that'll be in the next post. So, if you're interested, hit the subscribe button. Help me keep this thing going. I don't have a Patreon thing, and for the time being, I don't intend to do that. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I want your money to go to you. But what I do need is your knowledge. So if you have answers to any of these questions that I've been asking, like who were the paleontologists that found Maximus? Where did Shen come from? You know, those kinds of questions. Big John, you know, what did Walter Stein want for Big John before he actually sold it to the Zoic Company? You know, and what was all that hype and promotion? And who are the paleontologists that got grant money and money from National Geographic, and yet helped hype Big John to the astounding price of $7.7 million? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Anyway, all right. So I'm Thag. I'm yours for the discipline. And if you get a chance, subscribe, and certainly hit the comment section and tell me how you feel about it. Good, bad, or indifferent, I understand. And I'll catch you on the rebound.